One. And we're live. Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the Irish Abroad Show. This week in Irish football, it's myself, it's Tom. We're back again. I have Wi-Fi again. We can finally do this. Tom, how are you?
Great, yeah, great. Especially good after seeing very good performances actually from Irish players across the weekend. Lot to talk about going into this. So, not so happy after that United result. Didn't deserve anything out of that, but look, we'll move on to the more positive note with the Irish players.
Yeah, well, I suppose we'll kind of look back on yesterday's stuff. It's been a while since we have had such an influx of kind of Irish players scoring. I don't know if you've done a good bit of notes on that, so I'll let you kind of take it away in terms of yesterday and the major talking points there. You know, the likes of Finn Azaz, Tom Cannon, Adam Idah, Aaron Connolly, and so on. So far away.
Yeah, as I was saying, like a lot of good performances across the weekend from Irish players. I suppose the standout would have to be Finn Azaz. 6-2 win for Middlesbrough against Oxford in the league. Middlesbrough doing pretty well themselves, fifth in the league. But for him personally, 2 goals and 2 assists last night. One really nice assist, in particular in the first half, I think. Ball kind of lofted over the top in behind for the striker and finished off well. But in the second half, then he picked up the ball on the edge of the box. With like the standout of his 2 goals, I thought, and he just kind of wrapped the bottom corner and just, yeah, very, very good performance from him, following on from what I thought was decent little cameo for Ireland this recent campaign just gone. Really like Finn as a player. It's just a bit of a shame, I suppose. He's in that kind of difficult position where it's hard to fit him into a team because he's very versatile player. He can play in the multiple different positions. So I love him as a player, but difficult to see exactly going forward what his permanent role will be.
Where do you think his best position is? And the reason I ask that is because, you know, if we are crying out for that sort of number 10 creative player. He kind of got the best of himself as a left-sided attacking midfielder for Plymouth. And then he's gone to Middlesbrough. I'm not sure exactly where he's playing because I haven't been watching Middlesbrough side directly. Obviously, I've been seeing he's been doing well there, but I don't know what position entirely he's been playing there.
Yeah, I suppose, like you said, an advanced sort of midfielder, number 10. Almost, he's such a big player. Like, you know, he could nearly play just off the striker. But like I say, it's kind of a difficult one because he is sort of a very versatile player, can play kind of anywhere across that attacking midfield sort of line. So it's a difficult one for me to say, especially looking at the Ireland team, how we set up with the kind of flat two in midfield. And if anyone was that advanced midfielder, it was Sammy Smodics, but he was nearly playing as, you know, part of the front line almost. So difficult really to see where he fits in going forward, but I hope he does fit in somewhere because I think he is a very good player.
Sorry, my mic froze for some reason there. Yeah, look, I a lot of people are actually coming out and saying that Finn Azaz is the best player outside the Premier League, as in the Championship, which I think is huge praise for him. Like I really like him. I'd love him to be the next player for Ireland that's gonna be the one that kind of shake things up. Like it took Smodics a while to kind of get going, to kind of claim that spot. It took Ferguson a little bit of time as well to kind of take claim. Even Smallbone to an extent, and you'd probably say Smallbone's the main man in that position, and it's kind of his position to lose because when he's fit, he generally does play in that position. So, I'd be pushing for Finn Azaz to play as the attacking player in that midfield role and maybe even have Smallbone sitting deeper and spraying passes. Maybe doing what Josh Cullen does alongside Josh Cullen. Probably because I think he's better on the ball and maybe better on the turn than Cullen. I think Cullen's good and he's nippy and he kind of gets in and around and stuff like that. But I do think receiving it off to the defence and turning and trying to kind of turn the press and everything like that. I think Smallbone could be better with Finn Azaz up there. I know, look, there's no point in us going into tactics for Ireland right now, but just in terms of Finn Azaz, Michael Carrick really seems to be getting a tune out of him, and I think a lot of people were surprised that he went and left Middlesbrough. People thought he was going to kick on at Villa, but he's gone to Middlesbrough now, and it looks like a bargain for what they got him for. I think it was about 3 million or less, and I think he'll go for a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And like you said, he kind of has, you know, come out in the last couple of weeks, especially as kind of that one of the better players in the championship. I think he has 5 goals and 5 assists in his last 6 games, which is that's an incredible record. And that's exactly what Sammy Smolix was last season. He was that kind of outstanding player outside of the top flight. So hopefully Finn Azaz can replicate somewhat, I suppose, what Sammy Smolix did last season. Small bone, like you said, very tidy player. I don't know if he has quite lived up to the potential for Ireland that he has for Southampton, but I'd have faith in him to do that going forward. I know he in recent times for Ireland, he has performed well. I'm thinking back to the assist against Hungary, which was for Adamida, I think. Really impressed there. But I think that position is still up for grabs, and Finn Azaz is certainly putting his name in the hat for that.
Yeah, well, speaking of putting their names in hats, some other players have done well yesterday. Aaron Connolly being one, Tom Cannon being another. Aaron Connolly obviously getting his first goal for Sunderland, the first team. He's had a long road back to having no club at the start of the season. Obviously, getting his head down and trying to work hard, and obviously he's in rehabilitation as well for his own issues, or he was. So he's really trying to get his career back on track. A lovely finish, well controlled volley on the edge of the box, and it's just good to see him enjoying his football again. And who knows, I said it a couple of weeks ago that we could be looking at him in the new year as another player to add to our squad who might have been the forgotten man.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I suppose for anyone who didn't see the goal, should definitely go back and look. It was probably the best goal scored by an Irish player this weekend. It was basically a cross whipped in from a free kick by Sunderland, headed clear by Millwall. It falls to Aaron Connolly on the edge of the box, and first time volley, he placed it into the bottom corner. And yeah, great to see him doing well, or hopefully start to do well for a prominent team in the championship like Sunderland. I think everyone's kind of followed their story over the last couple of years, but from an Irish point of view, it'd be great to see Aaron Connolly kind of get back to the heights that he was at in years gone by. Mentioned him for Ireland. It'd be great to see him get back in the fold there, because we know him at his best can be a really dynamic option up front for us and offer something a little bit different to the rest of the players that we have up there. Just want to mention in that game as well, Idahs Maku got the assist for Millwall, who for the air equaliser, so he did very well there. But especially for Aaron Connolly, I think he's probably closest to the Ireland setup if he keeps going in the way that he's going. So very happy to see him do well.
Yeah, I think that's Aaron wants to be back, in that sort of competing for an Irish spot, doing well up. I imagine he'll want to kick on now, kick a season on, and finish in the kind of top of the, I suppose, 5 of the goal scorers in the championship. I know he got 7 last year with Hull, and then injuries just disrupted his whole season. And if you think of, he was having all of those issues last year, but he was still scoring the goals and delivering the goods. Imagine what he could do with a clear mind. So I know Aaron personally. I really hope he starts doing well. He's a good lad, despite what the outside people like to say about him who don't know him. He is a good lad, and look, I think everyone now is actually willing him on and wants to see him do well. And the fact that he's come out and been so open and brave about his problems off the field, and that like he's trying to change himself. And as well, he met a fan after the game as well, who he arranged to kind of give a jersey to. So he went and met him and got the jersey signed and everything like that. So that was a class touch as well. So things are going well from up at Sunderland there. Great club, a lot of Irish roots there, a lot of Irish past players there as well. So yeah, look, as long as him and Sunderland are doing well together, I think that's good for Ireland and Irish football as well. And obviously Sunderland fans would have a soft spot for Irish players as well, because they've had a lot of Irish players over the years. Niall Quinn, you had Roy Keane managing them, and obviously all the players that he would have managed through the years there as well. So yeah, really good club, massive club actually.
Yeah, definitely, and joint top at the moment, I think, alongside Leeds and Sheffield United. So you can imagine how much good that'll do us confidence if you could actually go and get promoted with them. And as you mentioned, such a big club, deserve to be back in the Premier League. You'd like to see them back in the Premier League, or as many big clubs as possible, and be great if he could be like a significant and important part of that.
Yeah, definitely. And look, that's only going to help Ireland. It's only going to help Sunderland if that is the case. All he could do is just keep his head down, keep working hard, and hopefully get the benefits and the rewards of doing that. So, yeah. Let's talk about Tom Cannon, because what a wonder goal he scored for Stoke. And he's really enjoying football there at Stoke. Himself and Andrew Moore are really enjoying football there. But I don't know if you saw the goal. It was a lovely goal. Do you remember that goal that Harry Kane scored against Arsenal a few years ago? Well, a good few years ago now, in the North London derby, and he got it in from the left hand side, cut in from a really hard angle, and whipped it towards the back post, top bins. It was a lovely, lovely strike, and he seems to be just really enjoying himself. I know you wanted to touch on him as well, so further away.
Yeah, 1-1 draw for him and Stoke against QPR yesterday. Brilliant finish. You kind of described it there, and he's been doing really well, as you mentioned, alongside Andy Moore. And, great to see him kind of getting back to the form that he was in at points last season and the season before that. He was probably unlucky over the last campaign to not feature more heavily. He only got kind of short little roles. I didn't think he really, got the chance he probably deserved based on his performances over the last couple of weeks. But as we know, the kind of depth that we have in the forward positions, it's going to be tough to break into that. But great to see him score more goals, and he's flying at the moment. And for not even halfway through the season, he's got a ton of goals. So happy to see him do well at Stoke.
Yeah, exactly. And look, again, you just keep banging in the goals, and as long as we have players that are coming into our squad and they're scoring goals and they're getting that feel of scoring goals, that's what we want. Yeah, so brilliant by Tom. Who else have we got in the? Mark McGuinness got his was it his first goal for Luton, and it was the winner against Hull, off a week, literally, well, just under a week after his first cap and first debut for Ireland. 5-0 loss against England, unfortunately, but I thought he actually had a good game. If you were to, dissect his actual position and his performance throughout the game, he actually done quite well. So it was a good week for him, despite the England result. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, good couple past week, I suppose, for Mark McGuinness. Goal for him and Luton, but as you mentioned, the England game, I thought especially in that first half, he did very well in that new sort of shape that we were testing out. But I thought he played very well and was very solid up against every kind of challenger that he came up against. He was up against sort of Madueke down that right side for England, but left side for us, and dealt with it very well, as the whole Ireland team did in that first half. We talked a lot about it in the review of, or in the final word of, those two matches. But yeah, good couple of weeks for Mark McGuinness, his debut there. Also, I suppose Casey McAteer made his full debut for Leicester in the Premier League. Wanted to touch on that. And then a couple of others. I think Adam Idah got 2 goals up in Celtic. So great to see good couple of Irish players doing very well this weekend.
And then Jamie McGrath obviously getting the goal against for Aberdeen against his former side, St Mirren. Just want to touch on Casey McAteer and Adam Idah and Jamie McGrath. I mean, it's not really odd for them. I mean, they're delivering on a regular there, so they're going really well. So delighted for both of them. And Adam Idah coming on late and sickening the Hearts fans, and I think he was taking a little bit of flack off them as well. I'm not sure exactly why. Could be the fact that he's Irish. But Casey McAteer is just an interesting one. Like, I see a lot of these kind of fan pages, and they're coming out and talking about Casey McAteer, sorry, like he is the next coming of God, or Wes Houlihan, or whatever. I just think we need to slow down on this. It really irritates me. Like, it's like, oh, Casey McAteer's made his full debut. He's going to be amazing. Will Smallbone makes his debut. He's going to be amazing. The fact of the matter is, a lot of the players that we have now are quite average. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was walking around. I was actually walking the dog in the local park. But I was thinking this the other day, and I was just thinking about Casey McAteer. Like, he's done nothing really of note, other than the fact that he's done well. He's done all right to get into a Leicester team, and then now he's done all right to play in the Premier League. but he's not contributing to goals and assists. He's playing in a struggling Leicester side, so I don't know why we build these players up to be the next big thing. And I'm not saying he's bad or anything like that. When I say average player, I mean an average player these days is still a very, very good player. But a lot of average players become international players these days because of so many games and so on. Um, and what I'm saying there is you like I just hate seeing. Oh my god, he's made his full Premier League debut. Wow, he's the best player ever. It's like just relax. Let him. I sound like Roy Keane. Just relax. But just let him settle in. Let him try actually do something, contribute on the pitch, and then start going. He's great. He's this. He's that. But this whole like overrating players and overhyping players, it happens far too much with Irish players, and it's no wonder so many of them fall by the wayside because there's so much pressure on them as soon as they come in to then start hitting the ground running and stuff like that, and making huge impacts. Like we don't have players like Roy Keane, Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, Richie Dunn, Shay Given anymore. Like our goalkeepers are good, don't get me wrong. I would say above average in that department. But a lot of our Irish team, in comparison to years gone by, where we've had real top level talent, you would consider what we have to be now average. And that's not me writing off the Irish team or anything like that before anyone starts trying to do that. Or trying to make it out that I'm doing that. It's more a case of let's just relax on players and give them an opportunity to try and kick on. And I'm not saying that about me or you, because I think we're fairly moderate in that respect. We tend to talk about players, wanting them to do better, wanting to do, like, I think Festi Ebzetti is a good example. We never really jumped on the Festi hype train. He's been good for Ireland, but we never thought, oh, he's going to be this, the second coming of, I don't know, whoever, like Damien Duff. He was never going to be that player. But what he is he's come in, he's direct, and he's made an impact. And that's all we wanted to see. But this, for me, I know I'm a bit ranting a little bit, but I just get a bit annoyed when I see this whole, he's made his Premier League debut. Wow, let's all go mad. Like, he's just made his Premier League debut. Well done. Let's see how he settles in. Now he's been playing Premier League football. I think that was just his first start, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so
his first
it's
start.
not really a big deal. Like, I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying in a general sense.
Yeah, there just ends up being, I think, hype around Irish players when they kind of change allegiances and, declare for Ireland. And we're expecting them to be this, new superstar who's going to come and save us. Look, Casey McAteer, I do think there is talent there. He showed that in the championship. I think he's had his opportunity with Ireland, and I don't think he's necessarily grabbed it with two hands like we probably would have hoped for in his couple of cameos that he's made. That's not to say that he's not a good player, and hopefully this run of games that he might go on with Leicester, if Leicester are struggling, and that might give him more opportunities in the side. That can only be a good thing for him and Ireland if he is able to, put together a good run of games and maybe get them numbers a bit better. But yeah, I think, as you mentioned, this sort of hype around Irish players, especially forwards. We were only talking about Aaron Connolly. He's went through his own struggles over the last couple of years. Evan Ferguson's had a tough season after a serious amount of hype. Casey McAteer hasn't reached those heights yet. So I think people do need to slow their roll sort of on him. But that's not to say that this isn't a positive thing. And hopefully he does go on a good run of games across this season, whether Leicester do stay up or do go down. I think game time is the main thing for him.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you, and and this is not a go at anybody in particular. It's just let's, as a collective, let's all not get carried away and let's get behind the lads. But if they don't start reaching the dizzy heights that some people like to give them, then they can't be getting on their case. But no, look, Jamie McGrath again doing really well at Aberdeen. Bad result for them in the league because they were obviously looking to hope to challenge with Celtic. It's not a good result for them. Obviously, this is his old club there, and he obviously actually had an amazing season with them. That's kind of where he really built a lot of his stock before he moved to Wigan, and then he moved back to Aberdeen. But seems to have found a home there, and he seems to be loved there. And yeah, he's still contributing goals and assists most weeks in the SPFL, and I think he's a must for the Irish squad. But yeah, I suppose we'll move on from that. Is there any other players that we haven't spoken about yesterday that
Well, just moving on today, if we can, just about Darragh O'Shea.
Yeah.
I think in that Ipswich game against Man United today, lots of hype around it. Sky Sports there, Amarim's first game, and tough start for them, conceding within 80 seconds, I think, but really solid defensive performance for Ipswich. There's a couple of Irish players in that squad. Ogbeni obviously injured now, but Sammy Smodics and also Jack Taylor as well. I think he came on towards the end. The standout of the Irish players had to have been Darragh O'Shea, coming up against Garnacho, I think it was, and then Rashford, who was playing up front. Suppose Ipswich as a unit, you have to give them credit, but just from an Irish point of view, I thought Darragh O'Shea played really well. Had to defend for a lot of that second half and did so very efficiently, and can only be a good thing going forward with Ireland. I know he sort of adopted this right back position recently, but no doubt a talented centre back as well, and showed that tonight.
Yeah, just looking at just Twitter there, most recoveries in the game, most clearances. So you got most recoveries 9, most clearances 6, most tackles 3, 9 out of 9 duels 1, no fouls committed. So that's really impressive. To be fair, I've often said that Darragh O'Shea goes under the radar as a defender. He's very similar, in my opinion, to John Egan. No, John Egan got injured in his career early on, kind of kind of delayed him a little bit. But I think Darragh O'Shea has been a steady Eddie. He came into that Ireland team when we were struggling and settled straight into it. I'm talking the early days of COVID. Didn't look out of place whatsoever. Looked like he was a seasoned veteran in that sense. And I think Darragh O'Shea is only going to go one way, and that's up. He's just like, he doesn't get spoken about the way Nathan Collins gets spoken about, or Andrew Bamadelli. A lot of them lads get talked up a lot more. That's what I mean about Darragh. He just kind of goes under the radar. Don't forget, like, he's been captain at most places he's been at now. I think West Brom, he was captain there. Then he got Burnley. Scott Parker didn't want him to go, and then Ipswich signed him, and I wouldn't say it'd be long before he's Ipswich captain, or vice captain or whatever. It's just he's just one of those solid, steady players, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he's a Premier League centre back. I think he's proven that now, and he's good enough as a footballer to fill in different positions. He's filled in at left back, he's filled in at right back, and for a centre half. And you look at kind of the build of him, he is a real centre half of build. Like, he's not a fullback, but even when he goes fullback, you wouldn't really notice it that much because he's quite solid. So yeah, absolutely buzzing for Darragh. I hope he continues his development, and I hope he continues. He's still quite young. I would say he's only about 24, if even. Really, really like Darragh O'Shea, and I think, and it's great to see him getting the plaudits that I think he deserves, and often goes under the radar, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ipswich is a good club. From, I think, out of the 3 clubs that did come up this year, they do have the best chance, I would say. I know it's not looking the best if you look at the league table, but I think there's definitely promising signs there. And just from an Irish point of view, they've got so many Irish players that you'd love to see them stay up and do well. Darragh O'Shea, the standout tonight, but a couple of others that I mentioned, hopefully they can find some form like he has tonight.
Yeah, I just see Simon Campbell's come in the comments there saying Taylor might be an option in midfield if he can get regular game time at Ipswich. Yeah, I mean, I liked him. He played one of the games there over the Nations League. I don't know if he started or came on. Did he start that one?
No, he came on the second half, but I was really impressed by him when he came on.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was it then. Yeah, so I've been impressed by him as well. I think he's definitely worth another go when we get up and running, if he's still playing, and hopefully he can continue again developing and getting game time in the Premier League, learning on the job, playing week in, week out. That's what we need. We need our players playing at the highest level possible. So for me, absolute no-brainer if Jack Taylor is playing regularly in the Premier League. If Smallbone's playing regularly in the Premier League, obviously Finn Azaz isn't going to be unless he gets promoted with Middlesbrough. But this is what I mean. It's like we need all our players to be striving for the Premier League, or to be playing in it, or to be playing in, say, Serie A or whatever, or do what Troy's done and go and play in Holland and get your goals and do well there. I know he played today against Sparta Rotterdam. Didn't score, but they won 2-1. And you look at Anselmo Garcia, and he His first name escapes me. I think it's Mars. I can't remember.
Anselmo Garcia McNulty.
What's his first name?
And I think
Oh,
Anselmo's his
Anselmo.
first
Sorry.
one. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Garcia McNulty. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but
What did I say?
you were saying Anselmo Garcia.
Oh God, yeah, Anselmo Garcia McNulty. You're right. I'm after butchering his name. Sorry, Anselmo. But he played for his wall as well. I think he played a 2-0 defeat to Ajax as well. So, look, yeah, it's been a good week for Irish players abroad, and hopefully that continues now. We need as much as we, players doing well in form, and obviously we need to see that replicated over the course of the season. It can't just be a little blow in. I'm delighted to see Adam Eder, delighted to see Aaron Connolly, delighted to see Tom Cannon, all of these lads scoring. I just hope that they can continue to do so. Is there any there's a little list I have there of just other little honourable mentions maybe. Idahs Maku, you said, got an assist. Tyler Gooderham got an assist. Matt Healy got an assist. James McLean got an assist. David Okigbuwi got an assist. Aaron Drennan got a goal for his club. Ryan Delaney got a goal for his club as well. So I think that's all there. And then Queven Kelleher, he played today, saved the penalty, was unlucky with the rebound, not to save that as well from Adam Armstrong, but they won. I think it was 3-2 last time I checked it. So Queven doing bits as well. And obviously we know Gavin Bazuna's still out injured, so unfortunately he wasn't involved today. Would have been nice to see them come up against each other in the Premier League. That would have been cool.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to mention Queven just real quickly. Another penalty, making a little habit of that really. And as much as me and you might not be happy about a Liverpool top of the league, so you talk about these players that Ireland have that are playing at the highest level. It doesn't get higher than that. And Queven's flying at the moment, as you mentioned. Gavin not in. Southampton probably could have used them today because McCarthy made a couple of mistakes, but I think we're very well stocked in terms of goalkeepers. Travers as well. There's a couple of areas in the team which can only be a good thing that are starting to get really competitive for positions. We mentioned some centre backs, forwards, goalkeepers, and that's a good thing for the future. As much as it might not translate into maybe short-term results, hopefully the future is bright.
Absolutely, and then you'd be helping players like Jake O'Brien and stuff like that and start getting a bit of game time maybe at Everton or go out on loan or do something there as well. I'm actually headed over to get a close-up on your beloved club next week in Old Trafford on this day next week, so we probably won't have an Irish abroad unless you're doing it next week. So I'll one comment come in actually there in a second. We'll discuss it. It's a funny one actually, but no, I'll be at that game and you might see Seamus Coleman or Jake O'Brien involved. Someone came in there, Charlie Capasani. He says Roy Keane versus the Ipswich fan. I don't know if you saw that video that surfaced online. Where he basically offered an Ipswich fan out to the car park for what looks to be a casual chat.
Yeah, no love lost there between Ipswich fans and Roy Keane. I don't think they're happy about his time at the club. My dad's actually an Ipswich fan, weirdly enough, so I know firsthand how Ipswich fans feel about Roy Keane. They weren't exactly happy with his time there. So it doesn't surprise me that he was getting a bit of grief. Probably a different Roy Keane nowadays to the one that managed Ipswich. Definitely a lot more mellowed out and kind of chilled back, but still offering out fights in the car park. So great to see.
Who do you think would win, the fan or Roy?
I'd back Roy against anyone, really.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was backing down from that guy anyway. But no, yeah, look, Roy Keane, he's box office every week. There's a clip of him going viral just because of the character that he is. So, yeah, hopefully Roy won that round. But we'll leave it there. Thanks for anyone who came in and joined in the comments. We'll be back again, maybe not next week on the Sunday, but maybe the Monday. But we will be back, no doubt, soon enough. If you like the video, drop a like on the video. If you want to subscribe, if you're new, please do. And we will also be putting these out as podcasts as well. So if you listen, say on a Monday morning on your way, on your commute or whatever, we will have this out as audio as well. So we will speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. Come on, you boys in green. And Tom, if you want to say anything before we click off, far away.
Yeah, let's hope these good weekends for Irish players continue going into the future, and yeah, hopefully the future's bright, as I say.
Hopefully. Well, see, speak to you all then.